Shalom, yes, Boker Tov. Oh, you might want to know why I'm talking to my phone at 3:37 a.m. I'd like to know that too. I was gonna do like I said I would do and read from John 19. Once again, I keep forgetting that I'm an employee and that everything's better when you just follow orders. I've kept something from this phone and from whoever wants to hear it all week, and I haven't told one person. Well, I alluded to it a little bit to my son, but just one detail of it. But I'm going to mention it. I don't know if this is not following orders or what. I don't know. I've never claimed to be perfect, and if anyone knows that about me, it's Abba. Um, I've had the same dream, just with a little bit different characters and goings on, but same places, same thing, main thing happening. And it coincides to perfection with everything else that's going on, with all that Abba showed me, with me being drawn to Messiah, with what Messiah is telling me, and with the response. I've had the dream 3 nights in a row, and I'm an employee. I can't tell you what it would be like, what my dream would be, but last night I was thinking to myself that I hope that I don't go back to that same dream. Well, I did. In it, they've been the first kind of nerve-wrenching dreams I've had in a long time. The first dreams where death was imminent. And I'm going to tell you what they were about. They were about some kind of other cobra vampire. I don't remember. I can't remember what they were calling it. It wasn't nothing even close to cobra. I don't know what it was. I can't remember. But and it was just like cobra. It was basically to smoke up your ass. But they were coming for everybody. And I was just drugged through it like a rag doll, like a redheaded stepchild. And the common theme was I survived because I followed orders. And you can believe that if you want to or not. I don't care if you do. I really don't. I would say I do. I want you to care, but no one's probably going to care. No one's going to believe me. So I don't care. But I'm going to say it. Like I said, I don't know if this is following orders or not, but uh, I was asked to share truths that he showed me for this whole duration, and I can't see how it would be wrong for me to do this. Uh, Maybe it might not be what I'm supposed to do, but I can't see how it's going to be horrible of me because I just hope somebody can see it. And the 95% are thinking, yeah, he's still hoping for subs, you know, and it's okay. It's okay. I'm glad that they think that way because it shows me who I am. And that's all I worry about. That's all I care about. I need to know who I am and my son. My love for people compels me to want to know who they are, but it's been a tough enough road just with me and my son. But the dreams, the first dream, somehow I was on the continent of Africa, and I put a post on Facebook a couple days ago or yesterday. I said, joking, just typical my kind of crazy, insane humor. I said, I put a post up. I said, apparently, I'm quite popular in Africa. People are trying to give me orphanages and shit. Wow. And you should get that joke. First dream, I was in Africa, and me and whoever I was with knew what was coming for us, and we were told to get on a boat and leave. And some of the people said no after a big dispute that they felt safer, that they felt that we all should just stay there. And like this guy in charge told me and these other people to get on the boat, and I just kind of got on the boat because he said so. And like 4 or 5 of the people, I don't know who they were, stayed, and they were telling us that we should have stayed and we were wrong. And what's crazy was the whole continent of Africa just like went boom and sunk down into the ocean. Not like sunk, just dropped, and that makes no sense. It's a dream, right? And that was like the biggest catastrophe kind of like thing out of all these dreams. But from there, like I went to a barn and was with one person, and we knew whatever was coming was coming. That person said we should do this. Someone in charge told me I better do this, and I just never really said anything. I was nervous. Butterflies ain't the word for it, and I just stayed there because the person that seemed like they knew told me to stay there, and I stayed there. And the ones that went on their own judgment died, and I didn't, just barely. And that's what it's been. That's what the dreams has consisted of. And I really feel like a bitch in the dreams, like I'm just sitting there, just not doing anything, not really saying anything, just like even during the disputes and stuff, like people trying to figure out where they're gonna go and everything. I'm just kind of standing on the back, just looking around. And when the person in charge, and that's I've never even thought about why I'm doing this. It's like a movie. I'm just watching it, and I've been narrowly escaping death. You can take that, you can take it or leave it. I'm not gonna try to force you to believe nothing. I'm putting this on here. If somebody understands it, oh man, they'll be so happy. But when everything changed the other day, I got this like feeling that my mom had a chance, right? And most people see they'll hear it, they heard what I just said right there, and they'll think, well, what do you think, you're better than your mom? And that's the world, and that's okay if they think that. That's okay. And Yahusha, when he told the people, he said, you want these loaves of bread, but the bread that comes from my Father down from heaven, the bread of life, Anyone who eats it will have everlasting life. And the men that I will raise up in time, my Father will teach them, and then he will draw them to me. And then when they are drawn to me, in no way will I lose them. Once they're there, and they're not going to be lost. And the Yahudim, the Jews, were arguing, saying this and that, and like, who is he? He's Joseph's and Mary's son. And this is key. This is why I can't argue anymore. And I'm so happy. This is why he wants us to eat his word. He said, don't grumble. Don't argue amongst yourselves, because it's just a waste of your time. No one is drawn to me unless the Father sends him. If the Father ain't taught him and sent him to me, he's not coming. And so he don't know what's going on. He can't understand, and that's all right. That's just keep on living your life and shopping and whatever you want to do. And just, I know people got a problem with me for how I am and what I speak, and I, that's just whatever, And if it's nonsense, then just let it be nonsense. Just consider me some lunatic, another lunatic in the world, and talking out my ass, and go talk all kinds of shit about me all you want. And I hope you do. I really do. Not for your sake, but for my sake. Because if the world loved me, I would know who I was. But being how the world wants to kill me, I know who I am. And I am thrilled with that realization. I told you I was going to read 19, but I was on YouTube just a few minutes ago, before I even realized I was going to make this video. And I seen one of those videos where there's someone saying that she saw Jesus in a dream or a vision, he's coming back soon, and she was crying and stuff. I think some of that is like those who might wash the robes in the Great Tribulation. I don't know. I'm an employee. But I can't completely rule it out just because they're saying that name, because I was called when I was saying that name. Now, I didn't believe, and I don't think if you measured, that girl really believed, even though she was crying and going through all she was going. She believed the dream that she had, and it scared her and all that stuff. She did. But she said she had been reading the Bible for however many years, and she had it in her lap, and she was still saying Jesus. So that's right there. That's all the proof that anyone would need to show us if they believe or not. It's just a simple fact. And that people like her has probably even heard that that's not his name, and they don't care, right? She probably still has no issue with Christmas and all that stuff, but she might wash her robe, in the Great Tribulation. I hope so. But I usually never listen to those dreams, those little TikTok things, and I did this one, and she was crying hysterical, and she said that she knew Jesus was coming back soon, and that she, in her dream, a fireball came over top her house. And she said, and this is what made her cry so hard. And this is what made me realize I had to get on here. She said it went over the house, and it was like right there, not too far, in the sky, and it exploded in the sky. And she said it was so loud and hard. And it reminded me of the dream I had about 2 years ago. The agent was here, who I thought I was married to, Jessica. And we were living in this crazy house, right? And like her and me we were completely different the way we looked at things and seen things, right? You know, like, in a dream, we were in that house and there was some kind of barbecue or something going on, and there was a big deck on the front of it, right? And the children were outside. It was me and her and Blake and Emma. And then all the people that were out there, like at the barbecue, I really didn't know who they were. They were just people. And she was out there, socializing, and the children were playing. And I went inside to do something, and I went in the bedroom, and there was a donkey in there, and there was like a raccoon, and that's the kind of person she was. Like, she was hot and clean, but you just never knew and I'm not that kind of person. Like, yeah, I'll rescue an animal and I love them and stuff, but I'm not putting a raccoon in my bedroom, in my bed. I mean, it's just not happening. I'm not having a cat crawl across my counter. If that's what you do, I don't judge you. I don't condemn you at all, but that's just me. You know, there's probably things that I do that you wouldn't do. That's all there is to it. Don't take offense to it. So I went in the bedroom and I was looking for something, and I seen these animals and I got so frustrated. And I went out to get her to be like, what in the heck? And when I opened the door, I looked up and I seen a fireball, just the way that girl explained it a minute ago. And it was like, it kind of looked harmless. It was scary looking, but it really wasn't making no noise, and it was traveling through the sky, and no one noticed it but me. And I didn't know whether I got Jessica's attention, but I didn't know whether I wanted to bitch about the animals in the house or this big ass fireball coming. And she really wouldn't notice it. And she was trying to come in and get something out of the refrigerator. She was giving somebody refreshments or something, I don't know. And all of a sudden that thing exploded. And I can remember it lifting me and her and the children off of the ground, bouncing us about 10 feet in the air. And, some dreams are just like a big mess, and you knew that happened, was going on. This wasn't like that. This hurt. This hurt me. It hurt my body. And I can remember that I was so terrified, man. And the children too. And just everybody was just so terrified. And it was throbbing, like the ground was just throbbing up and down, but bouncing everything that was on the ground that really wasn't attached, unlike the trees and stuff, like 10 feet up in the air, just like wham, 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 wham. Like weird, it was weird. And I never really thought about that until she just said that. And it kind of goes with everything else. I had a dream that in my dream, I knew that I would give Jessica an ultimatum before I ever even had a thought of giving her one. But in my dream, I did. And she, instead of just leaving with the ultimatum, she pretended for 2 or 3 days and then left. But I caught her right in the act, and right when she thought that I wasn't gonna see her, and she could just leave and leave like a note or something, because we just were two different people. And the way she did it, and she wanted me to give my daughter back to her mom. Her and my daughter and my daughter was 10, and they just hated each other. It just was never gonna work. I love Daoud and stuff like that. That's just who I am. And I wouldn't play it around somebody, and tag, torture them if they didn't like it. But just because I like that stuff, just it made me not a equal person to her because of that, and stuff like that. And she wanted to just I'll just say be physical like at all times, and and I just couldn't. Like I just couldn't do it, and there should have been no issue. You know what I mean? More than any, I don't need to say anymore, but it was insane. You know what I mean? And when I had that dream, it showed me what was coming, and I never had heard the word Cobra Vampire, the real word for that. I didn't know what that dream was about. And then I caught Jessica leaving, and 3 days later, there it was. And I realized what it was. And then my life started to change. About a week later, I was in my closet. I told y'all prostrate on my face, and he showed me by the end of the day the blood in the meat. I quit eating meat like that. We bought a piece tonight, a sirloin steak, and we're gonna boil it, and that'll be really. I think that's the first one we'll have done. That'll be the first piece of red meat. I'm pretty sure. No, my mom made some kind of stew one time after just trying to trick me and beg me to eat blood for months and months and months, and just screaming and fighting with me, and anyone who talked about it fighting with me, trying to get me to eat it. Why, I don't know. Well, you know, and I know. But and then one day she was like, I made some stew meat or something, and I boiled it twice. I dumped the water out on the ground, just like you said. I did it just the way you said it. Do you want some? And I was like, really? Now looking back, I wonder if she didn't spike it with something else, because why would she go through all that trouble just to do that, And I only eat a little piece of it. And that's how much red meat I've had since the weekend Trump declared a national emergency. Whatever date that was, I don't remember. March 13th, 2020. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And it's December, it's November 21, so like 2 years, maybe. Long damn time for me to not eat meat. That's all I know, and I don't want it, and just, that's it. It's over. But what happened after that is just, just one after another. Huge truths have been showed that uh, were right in my face before, and I never did see them, and now I see them. And now I see scripture and all this the way it is, and I had never seen it that way before. And most people take offense to that, just because they act like I'm saying I'm better than them or smarter than them. But that's okay. We're talking about the world. One sec. So yeah. So my mom last night, um, I called her, right? And on the day everything changed, I tried to tell her about that, uh, and I've done that pretty much every time, and then a whole lot of times when I get a revelation. And I'm sure it's pathetic for me to do that. I did that with my dad, and it wasn't enough. He still rolled up his sleeve, and when he did it, he called me and wept and told me, he said, I wished I would have listened to you, David. Why didn't I listen to you, David? He said, why did I do this? Why? I feel like I'm dead now. I feel like I'm in hell. And I said, "Oh, Dad, did you take that deal? Please tell me you didn't take that deal." He said, "Why didn't I listen to you, Dad?" I said, "Oh, man, why?" I said, "Dad, I told you how many times? How many times did I argue with you?" Okay. These people, they think this is a joke. And that I'm just wanting to be a fucking a YouTube sensation. Oh gosh. I mean, yeah, we don't wrestle against flesh and blood. But some of these people are just all kinds of pathetic and retarded all on their own. They don't need that fucking evil spirit to show them, okay? And my mom, I always try to reach out to her, and for this reason, I mean, because I love it. Is there any? Do I need to say any more? And if you wouldn't, then you don't love your mom, and you know, maybe she done, maybe something happened between you and her. Uh, I know my mom hasn't really give a fuck about me my whole life, really. She'll tell you that she was the greatest mom ever, but me and everyone else know better, except for her and her fantasy mind. I don't know what it is, but that don't mean I don't love her just as much as I would if she was the number one mom that ever existed. Call me what you want, I don't care. But so last night, I'm always thinking of a way that maybe I can say it like this, and not sound uh, not give her any reason to think that I would look down. And every time I've talked to her or anybody else about any of this, I'm looking up. And I know sometimes it sounds like that. And I would just like to say that the way I sound and the shit I do sometimes, just if you were an understanding person and you could ask a question, and you could let me tell you this one thing that might explain a little bit for you. I've went through hell on earth, man. Look at what I'm going through right now. Abba has showed me things that no one, I don't think, in the world has ever seen. And now, see, a lot of people are going to want to kill me for saying that. And I can't. He did it, okay? What do you want me to do? And and then I have to go tell people I've lost everyone, and I don't really care about that. But the world just, and that's good that the world hates me. It is. I mean, I love it, but don't think it ain't hard. It really is. It's hard. And then you got your son. My daughter hates my guts too. My baby girl hates me, and she's the definition of the world. Her and her mom, and there's so many decisions and things that have went in to what I do and the decisions I've made. And everyone, when they're talking about it, my life, they just assume that I've made decisions like over this and this, just like off the cuff. And they got no idea, not the slightest. And to argue with them would just be wasting time that we don't have. We really don't. And you don't want to believe that, that's on you. I can't make you believe nothing. All I can do is say what I'm saying right here, and I can try to say it in a way and put enough of it out there that just maybe something will spark inside your brain, and you'll see. And most people will say, "Well, don't worry about us," you know. And I'll tell you why. I'm not worried, but I'll tell you why I do this. My mom, I'm gonna see my dad again on Judgment Day. It says I will. It says that we'll be all up there on Judgment Day. So if I see my dad, guess what I'm going to be saying to him? I'm going to say, Dad, I told you. I told you. Not so I can say that I'm this or that. No. But so, because I'm sure he's going to be like, Dad, I took it, son. I know I should listen to you. I'm going to, actually, if there's just a couple seconds, I'll say, don't worry about that, Dad. Just come here, let me hug you. Don't even, just, shh, don't worry. And in Mom's case, if, let me tell you about the conversation before I say what I was just going to say. Puff on my cigar a little bit, a couple times first. Mom can't stand it when I talk about any of this stuff, but she writes books and she goes to her synagogue, and I could take you to her Facebook page right now and you would think that she's a saint and that she's saving souls left and right. And I'm just saying that's what she does, right? You know, she goes to a Hebrew roots congregation, and everyone's nice and stuff, but I'm just going to tell you our conversation last night, and it's the same conversation me and her have had ever since this all began. And every one escalates a little more than the one before. She, I'm trying to remember how it started. I said something like, you know, first I asked her about like if I left a jacket there, and I kind of knew I didn't, but I was just trying to figure out a way to call. Like she used to call and bug me, and if I didn't call her, I'd hear about it. No one wants to hear me call. No one wants to answer the phone for me anymore. And it ain't like I call them and say, you gotta listen to me. And no, I mean, do you think I would actually do that? I don't know. You probably do. You probably do think I do that. But I don't. But I try to be as gentle as possible. I don't want to be. I want to just smack the shit out of every one of them. What I really want to do. If I could go back to my dad, I would just smack the dog shit out of him. Call me disrespectful, whatever you want. If I thought it would save him from doing what he did, I'd do it twice, maybe 3 times. What would you do? I don't know. But my mom, we're talking, and I told her about where Yahusha said, you know, that my father will teach him and send him to me, that stuff. I said, did you read that? You understand that, what that's saying, you know? And a common phrase she throws out is she's read the Bible for 50 years. I've read the Bible for 50 years. I think I know what it says. That kind of stuff, you know. Well, I said, you know, he told me, it shows it in there that, you know, I don't have to worry. I know where I'm going. I know. And I said, when it says to eat the blood, you know, eat the body, drink the blood, I said, do you know what that means? And she said, oh, and I guess I don't, and you do, huh? Listen, and see how this is. This is how it works. And the whole time I have an attitude of I'm loving, and I'm like, please, can I just talk to you? And if you know, then just tell me what you know, and I'll quit, and we don't have to do this, you know, if you don't want to, and we never have to do it at all, you know. But and I know a lot of people will be like, you gotta be gentle, and I'm like, man, if I could just show you, there's no gentler way to do it. There really isn't. I'm pleading. And when I told her that, she, this happens the same way every time. She starts getting heated, and she's a whatever worship leader or whatever, and she writes these articles, and I told you she writes books and all this stuff, and she's all about it on Saturday. She really is. And well, that day right there, yesterday or today. See, I can't even tell you what day I'm in half the time because of all this shit. I'm asking her, I'm like, uh, he said anybody that believes, right? And she says, uh, I don't have a problem with anything you said, but except for that land that Israel is over there, I don't believe that. I don't care what you say. That's the biggest form of nonsense. That's nonsense, she said. And you know, I don't even want to hear it. How could that be of any importance? We need to be focused on why he died, yeah, and washing ourselves and all this and that. And I'm like, yes, I agree, I agree. But it is important. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. And I say every time, I'm like, well, what if it is? Can I just show you? I don't want to see it. She says, I know the Bible tells us that Israel's there in Egypt, and I say, I know, Mom, I know that's what it says. Um, that's what it says. You know, it's not on a rock somewhere. And it might be. And I said, and I've sharpened myself as far as this conversation goes every time because me and her have this all the time, and she's getting sick of it. Let me tell you. She is. And most people, out of the two people that'll listen to this, one and a half of you has probably said, yeah, you need to shut up, David. You need to not tell her. You don't hag her. What? It's not your place. It's not your place. Well, I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to ask you this. If she don't go, and I do, and I have to, for some reason, witness angels dragging her off to hell, if that happens to you, are you going to be okay with all that you did to save her, to help her? Is what people think about you, if they think you're a condescending jerk and that you think you know everything, is that going to matter to you when it comes to your mom to save her life, or your brother, or whoever it is? You know, it's not. And it's just when that conversation's being had, she starts accusing me of being crazy. She says I get my information from a YouTube video, and that hers is from the Bible, and that uh, she put it like I'm leading people astray. A bunch of stuff she says, evil, horrible, hatred, hateful things. She says on in every debate or whatever you want to call it. But that's what it is. There's another it's exhausting. I tell you right. I'll tell you right now, it is. But I have to do this. I have to muster through, and I have to get this on here, and I have to tell someone just in case. So, um, sometimes, like last night, I'll get her to look. I'll say, can I just, well, like last night I said, can you tell me what it means when Yahusha said to eat his flesh and drink his blood? And up till a week ago, I had no idea really. I thought I did, but I thought I knew what that meant. And now I see that a lot of people, if not the whole world, think along the same thing, or just some other opposite direction bullshit and not the real, uh, the truth of that, right? And that was him that showed me that. And most people will never believe me when I tell them that. Well, she said, I said, do you know? She said, yeah, I know what it is. Like, real condescending. And like I didn't know, you know. And I said, okay. And she kept talking about and going off on rants and saying that I look down my nose at people and I judge and condemn and I'm saying, but no, I don't. But can you just answer the question? Do you like what is it? I'm not acting like I know more than you. I'm wanting to know if you know because it's important. And this is what she usually does a lot of times. Is she says, uh, "I don't care. I'm not going to look for it right now. I'm tired. I don't got time for this," and blah blah blah, stuff like that. And then I'll, what would you do? Well, what are you gonna do? You gonna give up? I don't take no easily. I really don't. I'm a gypsy. It's probably in my blood to not take no for an answer. But when she said, that she wasn't going into her, whatever, her Bible to find out, and she never will. She never will, right? But she just says that she knows I'm wrong. And then I say, well, if that's the case, then can you please tell me how you know that I'm wrong and I'm leading astray, because you're saying I'm leading people astray, and then that would mean that my life's in jeopardy, that I'm putting my life in jeopardy. Can you please tell me where it is? And her answer for that's the same as, I don't feel like it right now. I don't want to have this conversation. Why do you talk about this every time we talk? Is that all you talk about? And then she starts getting overworked up and frustrated and heated. And then she's telling me that I'm the one that gets frustrated and worked up. And you see, and it's just round and round and round and round. Endless. A vicious cycle. Endless. Well, I told her, just like I said a minute ago, I said, look, and because she's saying, like, why don't you just shut up? I don't want to, and I told her, I said, because look, just humor me for a minute. Let's pretend I am right. What if I am right? And you don't listen. And then on Judgment Day, you get cast to hell, and I get cast to everlasting life with my Abba. And he said, yeah, there's, our Abba's like, yep, you're in, but her, she didn't believe. And if I have to watch angels drag her away while she's gnashing her teeth, if I don't feel like I did everything I could possibly do and then some to save her, like, what would I do with myself? You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to be able to do that? What if you never say nothing? I felt like I could have said more to my dad. I thought at the time, but there's no way. And my mom is the same. You just, I said quite a bit to my dad, but not a lot, and it would have never been enough, you know. It's just, I'm just exhausted thinking about it, really. But I have to tell you, I have to get on here and speak this. I do. I don't care if I sound like a belligerent idiot. I really do. And people will say it. People are going to say things like, oh, yeah, can you, it's okay, but can you get to the point? And maybe if you would do this, and maybe if you do that. And if they only had just a little smidgen of knowledge, to where they could see it themselves, but they won't. And so I told her, I said, Mom, if you all look into it, that you don't have a childlike faith. You have to have a childlike faith to see all these things. And she says they're not important, and I say, yeah, because if what I'm saying is real and true, then you went over there to that piece of land and you got baptized in the Jordan River and all this. And she's like, well, what's that matter? And I said, nothing that you did mattered, but the enemy made a complete fool out of you because you didn't believe. And she says, I don't believe that. And I say, exactly, right there. You're saying it yourself, Mom. You don't believe it. No, I don't believe that that's the land over there. And I say, I know that's why you can't see it, because you don't believe it. You have to have the faith of a little child. And she just can't see it for nothing. There's no seeing what's going on. What's that? And, it's really crazy. It really is. I'm going crazy. Okay, so look, guys, I'm going to try to do this, get this out real quick. Even though I really don't know where to begin. I'm trying though. So, my mom has had the same conversation with me. They all have. And this is what happens whether you want to believe it or not. I'll say, like I said, out west in America, that is the promised land. And someone like her says, no, it is not, and you need to stop that. And I say, why? It is. No, it is not. And I'll say, can you show me that it's not? No, I don't have to. I've been reading the Bible 50 years, and I know it tells us that's the promised land over there. Do you see how stupid that is, right? And I say, but can I show you? No, I don't want to see it. No, you can show me anything but that. I don't want to see none of that. And shut up. And then this is when I say, okay. Well, if I'm wrong, then I'm leading people astray, which is dangerous. I am going to hell. That's what the Bible says, right? Can you show me where I'm wrong? No, I don't feel like it right now. Well, I mean, just like I do, I could die 10 minutes from now. I don't care. But Mom, I'm your son. I mean, not that I'm trying to beg you to do this, but just think about what you're doing right now. Can you please show me where I'm going wrong? And then we can, do whatever. We can talk, about whatever you want to talk about. The guiding light, Young and the Restless, whatever you want to talk about.